It started at 8:16 a.m., but it felt like the dead of night. Rain shimmered on empty streets, the city lights breathing like tired, exhausted lungs. And then, a faint click, a shimmer in the air, and my world just stopped. Cars were frozen mid-motion. Raindrops hung in the air like tiny glass beads. Across the street, a man reaching for his umbrella was a perfect statue. The silence was absolute, stretching on forever. Then, a distant echo. It sounded like a clock ticking just one single beat too late. Suddenly, the world snapped back to life. Sound rushed in, a tidal wave of noise, the familiar hum of the city. But something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The giant digital billboard above the bus stop, the one that usually showed ads, glowed with a headline. Breaking news. Ethan Cole missing. Last seen 8:15 a.m. I froze. People hurried past me, completely oblivious, lost in their own worlds. I frantically checked my watch. 8:17 a.m. I had only lost a minute, but in that single minute, it felt like an eternity had reached out and simply erased me. When I got to my office, my keycard wouldn't work. Access denied. I tried again. Nothing. Inside, I saw my name had vanished from the employee database. The receptionist, a woman I'd said good morning to for 5 years, just frowned at me. "I'm sorry, sir. There's no Ethan Cole who works here." My hands were shaking as I pulled out my ID. "Look, this is me." She took it and her eyes widened. Her voice trembled. "Sir, this ID was printed today at 8:16 a.m. That night, rain whispered against the glass of my empty apartment. I sat alone, just staring at the city's glowing neon veins, feeling like a ghost. My phone, which had been silent all day, buzzed just once. A single text message. "Look outside. You left something." A plain brown package was waiting at my door. The label was impossible. Delivered, 8:15 a.m. Inside was a heavy, cold black pocket watch. Its second hand wasn't ticking forward. It was moving, backward. And beneath the clock face, 3 words were engraved. "Find the gap." The moment the watch touched my desk, the air shimmered again. The city's hum instantly muted. The lights in my apartment dimmed to a strange blue static. And then, complete silence. Time had stopped. Again. I stepped outside into a world made of glass. Rain suspended in midair, the faces of strangers trapped in mid-expression. And through the hazy, frozen twilight, I saw him, myself, standing right there, beneath the very same street lamp, holding the exact same watch. I ran towards my reflection, my heart pounding in my chest. The other Ethan just smiled, a sad, knowing smile that broke my heart. He whispered words, but the sound didn't travel in the frozen air. Then, he simply vanished into the fog. The world blinked, and I was back. The clock tower down the street chimed. It was 8:15 a.m. The loop had begun. Every morning I'd wake up at 8:14. Every day, the world would freeze at precisely 8:16. But each time I returned, something was different. A new piece of graffiti on a wall. A voice on the radio echoing strangely. Sometimes my own reflection in a shop window would lag a half-second behind me. Reality wasn't just repeating itself, it was rewriting itself, one tiny detail at a time. I started filling notebooks, desperate scribbles. Streetlight flickers twice before the freeze. Newspaper headline changed from "market crash" to "market boom." My shadow moved before I did. I wasn't losing time. It felt like time was losing me. One night, staring at my reflection in the dark window of a city bus, I saw it. Not my face, but a distortion behind it. A faint rectangular glow like a doorway hidden just behind the rain. And from that glow, a voice, synthesized and cold, whispered in my mind, "You were supposed to stay in the test." The voice was a breadcrumb trail. It led me to Building 47B, an abandoned industrial complex on the edge of the city. The windows were shattered, the doors chained shut. Inside, humming machines and endless banks of monitors filled a cavernous room. And every single screen showed a version of the same second, 8:16 a.m. Dozens of Ethans, hundreds maybe. each one living the same moment. Some were terrified, cowering in corners. Some were eerily calm, just staring into space, all of us trapped. And at the center of the room, a massive control panel with one single glowing button. The label read, Sync. Without hesitating, I slammed my hand down on it. A pulse of blinding white light flooded the room. Then, complete darkness. I woke up to motion, the rocking of a train. Rain was streaking across the window, and I could hear the quiet whispers of other passengers. I grabbed my phone. The time was 8:17 a.m. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding for an eternity. Maybe I was finally free. Just then, an automated voice announced over the intercom, "Next stop, Coal District Station." My last name. Chills ran down my spine. Across from me, a woman was smiling. "You're early today," she said. "Didn't you miss this train 1 minute ago?" My breath caught in my throat. How do you know that?" She just lifted her wrist, and there it was, a black pocket watch, its second hand ticking forward, normally. "Because this time," she said, her voice dropping to a soft whisper, "it's my turn." The digital clock above the train door struck 8:16, and the world froze solid. When time resumed, I was gone. My pocket watch rolled across the floor, stopping right by her shoe. She bent down and picked it up. As her fingers touched it, the engraving on the back changed. It now read, "Subject E. Cole, transferred successfully." Her reflection in the dark window warped, twisting for a moment into my face, staring back at her. The train's interior lights turned a deep blood red. The train itself began moving backward. Outside, the rain was rising from the pavement, defying gravity. Deep underground, in a sterile lab filled with glowing screens, a researcher spoke into his headset. "Another subject has broken containment." The lead scientist, a severe-looking woman, didn't even look up from her keyboard as she typed a command. "Simulation delay, 60 seconds. I opened my eyes. Same coffee shop, same street corner, same rain, same second. But the billboard above the bus stop had a new message. It read, "Welcome back, subject 982. I looked down at the coffee in my hand, and a small faint smile touched my lips. Maybe the only way out, I whispered to no one, is to stop counting the minutes. The clock on the tower struck 8:16, and the night, my night, began all over again. Thanks for watching this trip down the rabbit hole. If you love stories that mess with your head, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You never know when reality might glitch again. See you in the next loop.